Hey, baby.
Hey.
What's going on?
Not much.
All right.
Hello, hello. What are we talking about today first? That's
what
what
we're
I want to
talking
know.
about?
Yeah.
All right. So last video, we asked you guys to let us know if you wanted to hear the full story of how we met, and a lot of y'all came back that you want to hear that story. And so today we are going
We're
to
gonna
be
tell.
giving the deets.
We're gonna tell how we met.
Yes, of how we met. But I must put this out. The reason we're doing this video, I think the takeaway would be that no matter how you started, right? No matter how rocky that road may be, it could still lead to a blissful, beautiful marriage. So, shall we?
Are we telling all my version or your version or
I'm not holding back.
oh my days?
So, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, whose version are we starting with? Yours or mine?
I think we should start with mine.
All right, let's hear your version. How we
All right.
met
So, how we met.
from your point of view.
My point of view, exactly.
Okay.
I think we started with the conversation in the vehicle.
Okay.
And I think we shared that during our last video. So if you're missing that video, go back and go check that video, and then you can see the vehicle. But just a quick
For
recap
those
on
who
that.
may have just missed
Yeah,
it,
for those who
recap.
have missed it,
Okay.
I'm in the car driving one of my friends, and he's talking to a female voice. When your boys are talking to a female versus talking to a male, he's literally trying to convince this person, right, to come to this picnic slash party thing that one of our other friends is having for our birthday. So I blurt out, "Fam, leave the girl alone."
That's not what you said, though.
What did I say?
You said, "I beg leave the girl. If she's not coming, let her stay." What's
There
the
you go.
wahala?
There you go. That's the Nigerian guy in me. Like, leave the girl alone, man. If it's not, she won't come. She will
I
come.
like, leave her
If she
alone.
don't want come, she don't go come.
Rude.
And then what did you do after that?
It was giving rude. I was like, I'm sorry, what? Who is that? First of all, he tries to like make it all nice and sweet. He's like, no. Remember the guy? Oh, funny enough, he had actually mentioned you before. He had
Really?
mentioned you in a different light though.
Okay.
Because I used to dance. If you didn't, I used to dance. I was big on choreography at church.
She's a hot stepper.
And all of that, yeah. But at church, I was a good girl. Ish. I used to dance. So he had seen me dance before, and he was like, "Oh my God, you have to meet one of these friends of mine. He's a guy, and I feel like he's a guy version of you." And primarily because this guy also danced. And
That
so
is true.
when that situation occurred in the car, he was like, "Remember the guy I told you about now, the one I said that used to dance like you. That's don't mind him is who it is." And I was like, "You know what? For that reason, I'm gonna come. Just the fact that this guy thinks I'm not gonna come.
So
I'm
I
gonna come."
guess the rude boy worked.
No.
It got her out the house at least.
No, I was just being nice.
It got you out the
It
house.
did get me out the house.
There you
Funny
go.
enough, not because I thought I liked the person though. I was just like, anyways.
Because you didn't even know who I was.
I had no idea who you were.
Yeah, you
We'd
didn't know what I
never
looked
met.
like or anything.
No. But then, keep
So
going.
fast forward.
Your
so
point of view.
My point of view. So evening comes, right? This was probably around the what we just shared was probably around maybe noontime or something like
Yeah.
that. So evening comes, time for the picnic and all of that stuff. Me and my friends, we usually go to places that kind of arrive together. So everybody had kind of communicated like, yo, we're going to get there like around, I don't know, 5, 6,
Late.
whatever the time is. Always late.
Y'all were late.
I have to be fashionably late. This is back in the days. So we get there, and a bunch of people were already there. Obviously, we pull up, and everybody's saying hello, giving hugs, handshakes, and all of that stuff. And then my friend, who had invited Tosin, he's he's super happy because the person that was supposed to be meeting him up there is now there, right? So all the guys are now being introduced to her.
Because all of you knew each other. Everybody over there knew each other. I think I was the only one that was a new face.
True. You were the new, maybe
New
you,
face.
you and maybe a couple other
me
people.
and a few other
Yeah.
people, but primarily girls. All the girls when I got there all
They
knew
knew each other. That's true.
And so, except for my girlfriend, who also was part of the party planner. Yeah. So I think he was introducing me to everybody, but then to you guys, there's like 7 guys or 6 guys. How many? Y'all were a lot of guys.
I can't remember.
There
It was
were
a
a lot
lot.
of
There was a
guys.
lot that arrived at
Yeah.
the same time.
Go ahead.
So we, everybody's getting introduced. This is Tosin. Tosin meets so and so, and shake hands. Got to me. I don't know why, but I
have to tell this part. I'm gonna tell this part.
Okay.
Because
Okay. Do
I
the
don't
honors.
know, ladies. This one for the ladies. You guys know when you like walk into a space, and I know this is a little female secret I'm gonna put out there, but don't worry about it. It's not gonna change anything. But you know how when we walk into a space, you can tell whether or not you've captivated the guys in the room or not? Okay. In this scenario, that's what happened. The guys show up, and I could tell that clearly they were all like focused on this new meat. I could tell just the way they were looking. And so
You said new meat?
pretty much, isn't that how you guys are? Isn't that
More
how you guys
like
are?
fresh meat. but-
Whatever, yeah, fresh meat, new meat, same thing. But I could tell that I already knew that they knew everybody else there except me. So the way they were all like looking, I knew that it was okay. I had caught their attention.
Right.
So he starts to introduce me to every guy. And the first guy, I shake his hand. Next guy, shake his hand. Some of them are a little timid, I could tell. We get to the last guy. By the way, he's the smallest of them. Oh. They are all tall. Oh. He's the shortest of them and the smallest.
Always been.
I know. And then we get to him, and he's like, I put out my hand to shake his hand because I'd been shaking everybody. And he goes, I don't shake girls. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? I don't shake girls. I look at him, I'm like, I'm sorry, what? He says, I don't shake girls. And so he puts out,
I didn't stutter.
apparently, you've done that before, hadn't you?
I said
You were a playboy.
I don't shake
You
girls.
were a playboy. You've done that before.
Don't tell him that. Don't believe that.
That's the truth.
Don't believe. I wasn't a playboy. I just don't shake girls.
Whatever. He puts his arm out like it's a hug, like he wants to hug. And so I'm like, okay, I guess. And so I hug him.
But you didn't say no.
I did. I mean, I was trying to be polite.
Okay.
And at that moment, I really was not trying. I wasn't thinking, I'm here to find a guy.
Yeah, no one was processing anything.
I wasn't processing that, but he did captivate my attention with his boldness, his confidence. I was like, you know what? Of every guy I said hi to, that was the only one that was actually confident.
To the guys, fellas, I think it's important that when you walk into a room, you leave something to be remembered for. So to all the single guys that are watching, that is exactly what she's explaining. Everybody's shaking hands. I decided I'm not shaking hands, but I've always also been
You've always
a
been
rebel.
confident,
I've always been quite confident.
You don't really follow what everybody else is doing. You start your own.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I hug him lightly, friendly hug. And then I'm like, okay. And then at that point, my guy friend, the one who invited me, was like, so Tosin, remember the guy I've been telling you about, the one I said that you guys have to dance. You have to dance. And he's like, this is the guy. Of course, I remember he's the one from the car, and I'm just like, whatever. Funny enough, the day before, I broke up with my boyfriend.
Oh,
That was
that
actually
is true.
one of the reasons why I
That is
didn't
true.
feel like going out. Now that I remember.
Yep.
I broke up with my boyfriend the day before, and I was just like, you know what? I'm done with boys. Ain't nobody got time for this.
Done with boys?
I was done. Not that I
mean
was
done
going
with
to
dating?
girls. I was done with dating.
Oh, okay, I was
Uncle.
state that carefully because
I was done with dating. I was like, I'm done with dating. And so, yeah, I was like, okay, this party is just a party. Big deal. I wasn't thinking about meeting anybody or whatever. And so at that moment, obviously, he stood out confident.
Right.
And then, do you remember what then now happened?
and then we started dancing.
Yeah, they started playing music, and everybody started pitching us together to dance.
Right.
And so, like, okay, sure, we're going to dance. It started off with, like, the hip fast songs.
Uh-huh.
And I would the one song that actually really
Oh, y'all don't know about this
it's so funny.
sound.
We played that song at our wedding.
This is a jam for the OGs, yo.
song?
Look up this song.
What song was it?
Jagged Edge featuring Trina?
I don't know who they were featuring, but it was the
was
song was If You
What's the
Want
title?
It. Is it If You Want It? Oh, I got it. Got it.
Got it. The song
it.
is called Got It by Jagged Edge featuring Trina. That was
Okay.
a jam back in the days. That was my song.
Anyways, they start playing this song, and this is where he fools me. Oh, we're dancing, and he's singing every lyric, he knows the song clearly. I don't know the song. I'm just dancing, but he's singing every word of the song as he's close enough to where I could hear it in my ear. He's singing in my ear pretty much as we're dancing. The way we were dancing, oh, this is the part also that was
Tell him.
confusing.
How are we dancing?
We were dancing.
We were dancing.
We were dancing. It was the kind of dance that if you didn't, you would be dancing if you didn't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It was close. It was seductive. It was what
It was dancing.
it was what teenagers did. You know what I'm saying? We were dancing. And I'm like, okay, he then whispers in my ear, he says, "Where do you live?" Right? That's all. He didn't ask my name. Oh, maybe he remembered my name. He didn't ask anything else. He just says, "Where do you
Yeah,
live?"
I already met you. I already knew you.
Yeah, so where do you live? And I said, Garland. And he goes, "Where's that?" And I was like, far from here. And that's it. He said nothing else. Did not say anything else. Did not ask anything else. Just kept dancing. And so I'm thinking, interesting. And then what were you thinking at that time, actually? I want to know what you were thinking.
I wanted to know, if I'm being honest, if there was if there was the possibility of linking up. Hey, I'm just gonna be honest. I already knew your name. I'd never seen her before, right? I'd
What
never
was it
seen you
about
before
me that
at
made
that
you want to
time.
link up the dancing? Or what was it about me?
You were beautiful.
Oh.
You were drop dead gorgeous. And the truth is, most of the females that were there, I knew who they were. So
Was it the fact that I was the mystery behind me?
that's
Or that I was beautiful? Was it that?
it's everything. It's all of it.
So it was a new meat to conquer.
Yeah,
New fish.
at the time. Yeah, that's
you were
that's really
you
what
were a
it was.
20-year-old boy.
Yeah, I just
You
saw.
weren't
Hey,
looking for a wife.
I'm like, she's pretty, she's cool. Let me find out where she's from, like and see. So that was what the question
And then
was
when I
about.
said Garland, you're like,
And when you said Garland, I never heard of Garland before in my life. So in my mind, I'm thinking, shoot, where is that? So I must have said that out loud.
you did,
and you
I
said
was
far,
like, far,
and I was like, yeah, forget it.
and that was it. So
That was
this,
it.
all of a sudden, it wasn't worth it anymore. The beautiful girl and the
Unfortunately,
mystery. Oh my God.
in the moment.
Anyways, you want to now hear the part of this story that is interesting.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to go back a little. When I got to the party, there were no guys there. There were just girls. The guys hadn't arrived. They all came late, clearly. There were just girls. But when I got there, I drove, I parked my car, and I met all these young girls. A lot of them were all younger than me, maybe a year.
About a year younger.
A
yeah.
year or two younger than me. But we were all in college. And so they were all so sweet and so friendly and so welcoming and kind. I didn't know any of them except my one friend, and I was meeting all of them. But there was one particular girl that was over the top sweet and over the top, like, kind, and we connected quick. Like, she immediately was just like, "Oh my God, I like you this, I like you that, da 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 da. What do you do?" We, very into friendly with me, and was trying to be very, very welcoming with me. Hold that thought on who that girl is. So we go. Later, after we finish dancing, when the music ends and we all go sit down, now we want to eat, there's food and all that. I hear him say, he has caught my attention now. He can dance. And I thought he could sing because he was singing.
Say that one more time. He can what?
He can dance.
He can cut a rug.
He could dance. But I thought he could sing. Now, a long time ago, I used to say that whoever I marry had to know how to dance and had to know how to sing because I sing and I dance, right? So I'm thinking, oh my God, this guy is intriguing, confident, can dance, can sing. Not much that a 20-year-old girl is thinking of at that time. And so He sits down and I hear him say, "Where's my baby?" And I'm thinking, does he have a child? I didn't see any child at the party. So I'm thinking to myself, there's no way he has a girlfriend. It has to be a child because there's no girlfriend, at least not me, that would allow my boyfriend dance the way he was dancing with me. The way he was dancing with me, there's no way. I wouldn't allow it. I would have come in the middle of them since. And so I'm like waiting to see who this baby is or what this conversation. Is it a dog? It has to be a dog. It cannot be a human being. Anyways, and then the one person that shows up to respond to his "Where's my baby" is the one girl that was extremely nice to me when we got there.
Yeah.
Turns out he had a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Turns out you had a girlfriend, yet you asking me where do I live.
Turns out I had a girlfriend.
Turns out, really?
I did have a girlfriend. And a girlfriend that was known to everyone.
To everybody in that space
It wasn't
except
hidden.
me. These people were weird. Everybody except me.
But you know why it wasn't weird?
Why? You dance like that all the time?
Right.
Wow.
The reason is because I was within that circle of friends.
Mm-hmm.
I was the
dancer.
guy that danced, right? So everywhere we went to, I'd be dancing with somebody. So it wasn't weird, even to her, to see that I was just there dancing.
Y'all must have left some broken hearts along the road, many at the club or wherever you were dancing. Anyways, that's how that started. That's how we first met.
Right.
We met there. And the moment I saw the girl and I realized he had a girlfriend, I immediately told myself, forget it. That is a no-go area, not happening. I don't even need the drama in my life.
But you told my friend
But on my drive...
Our mutual friend.
On my drive home, I'm talking to our mutual friend. And he asked me, how was the party? Hope I had fun. And I said, yes. And he was like, I told you about that, my friend, that you guys would be like, oh my God, y'all were like a perfect match, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah. I was like, funny enough, that's probably the kind of guy I would love to marry. I said, but he has a girlfriend, so forget it.
Yeah.
And that's what I told our friend that night. And for real, it was a forget it. But then...
Until it wasn't forgotten.
Like a week later or 2 weeks later...
Right.
Oh boy, our friend is calling me talking about that my friend wants your number. And I'm like, he has a girlfriend. Tell him no. He's like, no. He doesn't. He just wants y'all to dance again. It's nothing. He's not trying to nothing. He just wants, like to connect. And I was like,
it was nothing.
I sort of knew that there was no way that thing was going to be nothing. I knew that was trouble. I knew it was trouble. I really did. Anyways, he bugged me over and over and over. Finally, I was just like, fine, give him the number.
And then I called.
And then you called.
Yeah. And then I called. I remember I was, myself and my friends, Sunday evenings, we'd go play soccer at these parks. And then he sent me the number. I think it must have been like around 6, 7 p.m. or something. We're just about to go play. So I called you.
Yeah, it was a Sunday evening.
And I said, yo, I just got your number. I wanted you to know that it's me. And is it okay to call you later in the evening or something like that?
Yeah, it was the weirdest call ever. And I was like,
yeah.
He called to let me know he was going to call me later. I was going
to call later, yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Anticipation.
Sure. Please, that was not intentional. Don't act like it was intentional.
It was quite intentional.
Why would you do that, though? That was weird.
So that you know that it's me and I'll be calling later. And then you can wait up for the call.
Can you imagine? And okay, by the way, in those days, we had free minutes after 9 o'clock.
After,
do you remember that? It was after
7
9
o'clock.
No, it was 9.
Was it 9?
It was after 9 free minutes. Anytime before then, you were using your cell phone minutes.
That's true.
So I think that's what it was.
No, I just got into the soccer.
You did.
Soccer
I
was
hear
really gonna go play, but I was so excited to get the number.
That's what it. Now you're being honest. So that's like, what it was. You were excited.
This is me. I'm gonna hit you up. Are you gonna be up? Is it gonna be cool? And once you gave me the green light, I was like, okay, I'll call later. And I think I had a really good game that day too.
So he calls later.
Sorry, y'all. I'm a mess.
This was the interesting thing, you guys. I really thought that I was strong enough to be able to withhold anything further than just being friends. I really, really honestly thought, and this one is a lesson to honestly all the girls out there. And I'm not saying, again, like we said, your relationship could start out rocky, and it could still end up being bliss, but it could start out rocky and end up rocky. So let's not fantasize what happened with us, the drama, oh my gosh, the PTSD from our dating experience. Oh my days, it was a hot mess express, y'all. Okay.
And then how did things transpire from there?
That night we talked. Our batteries went out. We charged it and called again and talked. We
found out we had a lot in common.
We had a lot in
Yeah,
common.
we had a lot to talk about.
We had a lot in
From
common.
9 p.m. till 3 a.m.?
We were on the phone the whole night.
Yeah.
The only reason we went to sleep was because in the middle of the call, towards the end, you had asked me if I would come see you.
Right.
And I had said, at first I was like, yeah, no, I'm not driving out. Because he lived in Arlington, which was around that Grand Prairie area. And I lived in
It's about
Garland.
almost an hour away.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, no. But then the more we talked, the conversation led towards friendship. It was more, we both had been part of part of a dance ministry in Nigeria that we were familiar both. So when we both mentioned that name, we're like, oh my God, but in different parts of the country. And so we're like, oh, maybe we can start one here
Right. Let's talk about it. Let's see
maybe
what
we can
do
start
with
one here in
dance.
America. Maybe we can start a dance ministry here. I was heavy in church. I never was not heavy in church. Now, I don't know. He went to his parents' church, I think because they made him go, but he wasn't necessarily like, necessarily like spiritually sound. Now, I was a young girl trying to stay spiritually sound. So I really honestly had minimal drama in my life. When I wasn't at school, I was at church. I was leading worship. I was dancing choreography at church. I wasn't doing any like outside kind of stuff like that. So again, and I didn't drive far. But you had said, would you come see me? And it was funny. It was Labor Day weekend.
It was Labor Day weekend.
So that was the Sunday before Labor Day. The Monday was Labor Day and there was no work.
Right.
And there was no school.
Right.
So you had said, what are you doing tomorrow? And I said nothing. And I was like, you were like, I'm off work, not doing anything. You want to come over? We can use that to like plan this whole thing we're talking about. And I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Big mistake.
Yeah, and the rest is history
The rest
after that.
is history. That's how we met.
That's how we met.
He thought I was lying when I said I was going to come. And I had to print
I didn't believe that she
I had
was
to
coming.
print out MapQuest.
This was back in the days where you couldn't, it was MapQuest days, right?
There
so
was
you
no
print it out and
GPS.
you drive. I couldn't tell she was on the way. So the whole time she'd give me landmarks and say,
I was talking
I'm
to him. I'm like, I'm passing this.
And in my
he's
mind,
like,
I'm thinking,
he's like, you're lying.
she's just home, pulling up stuff, telling me where she is, until she pulled up, and I was quite shocked.
You were very shocked.
I was very shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You lived with your parents then.
Yeah, I live with my parents.
And you had just bought a new car
Yes,
that
yes,
weekend.
yes.
And so your friends were going to come see it.
Right.
That's the funniest part. So I show
was
up
funny.
at his house,
Uh-oh.
right?
You want to share that part?
Not all of it. But I show up at his house and I had honestly forgotten what he looked like. You won't believe it. I'd forgotten what you look like. I didn't remember until when he, I was talking to him. I was trying to find where to park and he had
Came outside.
come out to help me. And I was like, oh, that's what he looks like. I didn't remember.
Right.
But we were like, okay, we had connected over the phone as friends. So it was easy to just like, oh, my buddy, what's up, And then your mom was home. You had introduced me to your mom as your friend.
Right.
And
But she was heading out or
she was
something.
heading out, yeah. So we're hanging in your bedroom. And then his bedroom had a door to the back of the house.
Yes.
So his
yes.
friends would
It's
come
like a
from the
glass
back,
door
the
that
sliding
goes
doors,
outside.
yes, from there. And so all the boys from the picnic, all of them,
No, a few of them. It was a few of them. It was about
it felt
4 of
like another 10 boys. All I know is they all show up and they like knock on the door and he opens the door and you could see when they walk in and see me, you could see the surprise on their face. Like, how did Somi get this girl? Literally, that was what it was. And you could hear all of them then he pushes all of them to go out, but it's a glass door. I could hear them. You can hear like, yes, Somi. Waiting, where you finding her? And I was like, oh my God. I wanted the ground to swallow me.
I tried to protect you too.
You sure
Because I
did.
didn't tell any of them.
You clearly did not.
I didn't tell any of them what
You
was
did
going
not.
on. Because I wasn't sure you were even coming.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't
We
know
had
you were
already
gonna
gone
come.
out. We went to lunch. He took me
Right.
to Steak and Shake. And tell me why my husband here now ordered spaghetti at Steak.
What's wrong
and
with
Shake.
ordering spaghetti?
At Steak
What's
and
wrong with
Shake.
spaghetti?
Spaghetti.
Because I'd eaten it before. It was great.
I was actually pretty impressed. I was like, spaghetti? Okay. I decided to watch him. And he ate. Oh my God. Anybody who knows Sami knows that. Sami eats poetically. Let me put it that way.
That's a big one.
He eats poetically. All our friends are always like, if somebody's eating something, you're going to want to eat it the way he eats it. So he was eating spaghetti, and I was just like, impressive. He did pretty good. I was impressed. That was
Just be
one
tidy.
point.
I mean,
You were pretty tidy.
don't make
That
a
was 1
mess.
point for me, for
Right.
you, in my book.
so yeah, the guys show up. They didn't even tell me
They
were
didn't tell
coming.
you they were coming. They
'Cause
came
this
to
was
see your
back then
car.
where we just said people just show up at people's homes. Everybody knew you were home. Just started banging on the door. I look and I see them like, oh snap. Dang, I don't want her to freak out. But I'm like, yeah, it's my friends. So I try to open the door
They pushed past you.
and talk to them and be like, yo, I got company now. They just walk right in. And yeah, I think she was quite embarrassed.
I was, because I didn't think it was going to be like a group thing.
It wasn't. It was just,
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
But on my way home, okay, so I'm going to tell y'all a little bit. We did kiss that day.
Mm-hmm.
We shouldn't have. It was one of those stupid, like, I dare you kind of. We're so childish.
It was childish.
We had talked about it on the phone, whether or not you were a good kisser or whether I was a good kisser.
Why were we talking about being
Because
a
we
good kisser
were
on the
being
phone?
stupid. We were being like, we were flirting. Let's be real. We were flirting.
Okay.
And so when we did end up in the same space, it was like, you gonna show me? Kind of. You were very
Don't
confident.
talk about what you're not going to do if you're not going
And
to do it.
I never backed down from a
Yeah, back down from a challenge.
from a challenge.
There you go. So then on your way home, you
I called-
caught the light.
I caught the light. I realized this was bad,
Yeah.
and this was bad news. It was unnecessary, and it was only going to bring me drama that I didn't want. I also realized that he doesn't know where I live. I don't go out this way, so this is unnecessary. Like, we could end this. So I called him, and I was like, I don't want to see you again. I don't think this is good. I don't think we can be friends.
Right.
I don't think it's possible to maintain friendship between us. There's chemistry. It's just, you have a girlfriend. Can we just not ever
And what
see
did,
each
what
other
did I
again?
do?
You refused.
I refused. I
He-
flat out refused.
He said no. He was
Yeah, I
like,
just
"Oh,
said
I'm
no.
gonna see you again. I can't. We can't do that. Da 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 da." And I'm like, "Well, good luck finding me because you don't even know where I live."
True. She did say that. But for me, it was our meeting was magnetic. It was initially was okay. Maybe this is another person to conquer, right? Let's be honest. But after that first meeting at the house, and in a conversation that we had the night before, it was clear to me that there was something special. There was something special about you. I wanted to know you more. I wanted to just know everything about you. So you then going on your drive home telling me, sorry fam, I can't see you again. My mind, I'm thinking, not gonna happen. I'm gonna find you. I was
And
drawn.
find me, you did.
And find you, I did.
He sure did.
Find
I
you,
forgot
I
we
did.
had a mutual friend.
Yeah.
He didn't take no for an answer. The boy showed up at my door every other day,
Yeah.
sometimes twice in one day, from Arlington to Garland.
Why are you making me sound like a stalker?
You sure were. With gifts. He never came empty-handed. And I was a young girl just, struggling, trying to figure out my life. And this boy would not stop. The funny thing, that day that I came over, after we went to eat, your boss had called and asked you to come into work to do something real quick for her.
Yeah. I remember
His
that
boss
now.
had called and asked him if he could quickly stop by for something or drop off something. I don't know.
Right.
And I was with him, so he was like, do you mind going with me? So I went with him
Yeah, there were a set of keys that
that you had to drop off.
that I needed to drop off.
And when
at
we
work.
showed up,
Yeah.
she immediately was like, "Oh my God, is this your girlfriend? You guys look so cute together. You make such a perfect couple." And I'm like,
We
"Yeah."
did look
I was
cute
like,
together.
"Yeah, no, I'm not his girlfriend. No, I don't know him like that." Yeah. So comments like that were already triggering me and making me
Right.
worried that this was not good. We definitely hurt some people along the way.
Yeah.
Your ex-girlfriend, I know we hurt her because I couldn't keep him away. And I definitely knew that there was chemistry. I also knew that I definitely was falling for him. I participated in the conversation, so I also know what I felt after we talked.
True.
But I fought it. I fought it so hard as I could. There were many times I broke it off. We weren't dating technically, but I would break it off with him like, I don't want to see you. And he would still come back. Yeah,
Until finally I pulled the trigger on the ex-girlfriend. Shout out to the ex-girlfriend.
Are we shouting out our ex-girlfriend?
Hey, listen, respect.
Respect. Much
out of
respect.
respect, to be honest. And
Much
you,
respect.
And you said something that was beautiful, which is that it wasn't meant to hurt anyone.
It wasn't
right?
meant to hurt anybody.
It was
no.
just the moment we met, it was electric. We knew we were meant to be together. But there was this obstacle, right? And I
At
say
that
that
time.
respectfully. Later down the line, I did break it off.
And you grew up.
in a respectful way, and
Because
grew
you were
up.
being childish, trying to keep two girls.
I wasn't trying to keep two girls. I was trying not to hurt one person.
But still keep
Yeah.
two girls.
When you say that way, yes, I
Because
was keeping two.
You kept dating her while you were at my house almost every day.
Yeah, that was bad.
You kept dating her while
Yeah,
you were
don't-
calling.
Don't do that, guys.
While you were calling my phone. Like, the crazy thing was, and it was hard for me to respect the relationship he had. And honestly, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, from a good place, because as he's going to his class, he went to school with his ex-girlfriend, by the way, and I went to a different school. As he's going to class, he's on the phone with me. As he gets out of class, he's on the phone with me. As he's going to work, he's on the phone with me. As he's at work, he's on the phone with me. As he's going to bed, he's on the phone with me. It was hard for me to believe he was dating somebody else, but he was. And I don't know what dynamics the relationship was, but it made it hard for me to be able to, for a guy to show you that much attention, to believe. This is how people fall for married men.
Is it?
This is how people fall for married men. I can see it. You know the married men that will not tell you they're married, but they're in your life 24/7. Then you find out, or you get invitation to their wedding, those ones. This is how it happens.
Interesting.
Because I don't know why do men do that? Why? You were in my space, in my life, in my face, 24/7.
Because I knew it was you all along.
Then you should have ended the other relationship.
I should have ended it a lot sooner. I was just too
You were scared.
too scared.
You were trying to be the good guy.
Yeah, I was trying to. Yeah, I wasn't scared.
But in the end, you ended up being the bad guy.
I think it was just more. That relationship involved a lot of friends, right? Everybody was around each other every day of the week, like probably maybe besides weekends, right? So being in that environment was just gonna be tough. I was gonna be the bad guy who did this. So in my mind, I'm thinking we're gonna finish this.
We're graduating.
We're graduating. It was a two-year
summer.
community college. We're gonna graduate that summer. She was gonna go to school in a place that was far away. I was gonna go to another school in a place that was far away. We weren't gonna make it anyway. That was my thought process. So if I could just keep pushing till we graduated and everybody just go their separate ways, it was gonna be cool, right?
I'm shaking my head at you.
That was the thought process.
Older me is shaking my head at younger
Older me
you.
shaking my head for me. Because I wouldn't tell my child to do that. To
Never.
anybody. That was
Because again, remember Labor Day, September 2nd-ish. Although we didn't really start like seeing each other again like up until like October.
true.
October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May.
Yeah, it was May.
8 months of him stringing his girlfriend along.
Yeah.
While he
That's
was
awful.
professing
awful.
love to me every day. Anyways, that was how we started off. And
That's the rocky start.
that was
So now
rough. I always
yeah.
tell him I hate thinking about how we started, because one of the things I struggled with in the beginning of our marriage, and this is something we're probably going to talk about, is when we first got married, the first few years of our marriage were hard. there were lots of baggage and things we brought in, considering how passionate people who know us when we're dating will tell you that we were passionately in love. Like our love used to frustrate people. And what's wrong with these people? But you would think that with that kind of a hot like romance, the way we
Right.
loved each other, that our marriage would have started off easy peasy.
Nah.
No, that was hard. And one of the things I struggled with the most, that took me a while to get over, was learning to get over the fact that I felt like you didn't choose me. You know, we talked about
We
this
talked about
before.
that before, yeah.
How I felt like you didn't prioritize me or you didn't choose me. I couldn't have been that good if you couldn't even break up with her and choose me.
Off the rip. Yeah.
And yeah.
How do you feel about that now, though? Now that you're bringing it up.
I mean, now, in many ways, 19 years later, actually 21 years later,
21, yeah. That was before marriage.
you've, in many ways, chosen me,
Okay.
to which it's not an issue anymore. But
You just don't like that part of the story.
I just don't like that part of the story.
I get it.
It could have been easier. It could have been drama-free if
It
he
could
had
have
just
been.
chosen me.
I could have stepped up and done the right thing.
And y'all, there was drama
But there
because she
was a lot of
found
drama.
out.
Yeah.
And there was that. And then there were her friends who were sending me death threats.
Oh, it was deep.
It was deep. There
It
were a
was
lot
deep.
of people involved who found out. There was a smear campaign going around town with my name on it. And rightfully so. Apparently, I stole someone's man. And there was that. And there was, just all kinds of a mess that I was just like, this boy just brought drama to my life. When he met me, I was leading worship. Jeje and Jeje me leading worship.
And on that note, though, I know we've dealt with this, and I've apologized to you before about that beginning. But now that you're reiterating, I should apologize to you again for putting you through that mess. You're right. It could have been a lot smoother.
It could have.
It could have been a lot more mature.
Yeah.
In the way I handled it. So for that,
Yeah, because lives get hurt.
I apologize.
Apology accepted, my
There
love.
we go. And yeah.
So yeah, anyways, how did we go from 20-year-old kiddos to deciding to be married at 23?
Now that's another long story. And if you want to hear that, comment down below. Let us know that
Or
you
send us
want
a DM,
more.
yeah.
Send us all the info. Tell us what you want to hear. I mean, the journey is, it's just stories and stories and
It's
stories,
stories on
right?
stories,
And
man.
again, we're not sharing these stories just to share the stories, but it is to encourage someone,
Yeah.
to let those out there right now who are single, who are thinking a story has to go a certain way, it has to be all pretty in the beginning. It's not always that way, right? Who told you that it was always going to be a pretty story?
Yeah.
Like
I said, there was baggage, babe. We
There's
brought baggage, lots of
and
baggage.
we brought a lot of baggage into
A lot of
it, too.
baggage into the first few years of our marriage, and so and then being married young,
That
added to
was
it.
challenging for
And
both
the
of
first
us.
few years of our marriage, we lived apart.
Oh, that's a whole different story too. Yeah.
Being married and living apart. You want to hear that? Yes. If you want to hear that too, let us know which one you want to hear. Being young, being married.
Yeah.
We lived together for maybe all of 6 months of our first year of being married,
6
and then
months,
we
and
had
then
to
we had to
we had to
go to school
go to
in
school in
different states.
because we got married when we were in college.
Yeah.
Then we had to go to school in separate states, and we're still married. Ooh, that's where the gist is.
Oh, there's more.
Oh my God. You want to hear what it's like to be 23 and married and living alone in a college town?
Oh boy.
How Sami navigated that?
How I navigated that.
Not well.
And how you navigated it.
I tried.
Well.
Not too well either. But yeah. So yeah. Well, there's more to come.
Yep.
And
All
again, as always, if you want to hear more, you want to send us questions, you want to send us stories about your marriage or situations like this. If you started your marriage out or your relationship out with a situationship like ours, and you want to share that, you can send us a message. You can DM us.
Yep.
Or you can
email us too.
email us at
InSyncMarriage.
insyncmarriage@gmail.com.
insyncmarriage@gmail.com.
Yeah. How did we go from that to
here.
being pastors?
Yeah. It's a journey.
It's
beautiful
a journey. Yes.
beautiful
And we're happy to share. If you want us to come talk at your church or at your event about marriage and godly marriage and how to navigate that. We have a wealth of knowledge to share. Send us a message. And
We'll
yeah,
see you next
we'll
time.
see you next time. We're going to tell you guys some more next time. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Have a good one.
Bye.